ഇവിടുത്തെ ഓരോ മാധ്യമപ്രവർത്തകരെയും ഈ പരിപാടി റിപ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ വന്നിട്ടുള്ള എല്ലാ സുഹൃത്തുക്കളെയും ഭാരതീയ ജനതാ പാർട്ടി കേരള ഘടകത്തിന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് ഞാൻ ഹാർദമായിട്ട് സ്വാഗതം ചെയ്യും.
Our state president, Shri Surendran ji, and senior leaders on the dais and dear friends. I've come on a 2-day tour to Kerala, God's own land. The purpose is to understand the organizational activities of the party and keeping in view of the ensuing elections, how do we strategize, go forward. In this 2-day tour, there are some organizational meetings which are going to take place and some related to interaction with the public. One public meeting will be there, and through press conference also meeting all of you and trying to understand the situation. I'm also going to meet the allies partners individually and collectively. There will be a core committee meeting, a national office bearers meeting. So it's a very packed 2-day tour of Kerala which I'm going to undertake. Here when I come to Kerala, the recently held local body elections and the results, BJP has emerged as the third principal pole in the Kerala politics. The good work done by the dynamic Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, the clean administration given by him, the effective administration given by him, has been widely appreciated by the people of Kerala. I find I have been here as in charge of Vidhan Sabha elections in 2016, and practically I visited every subdivision at that point of time. The warm welcome which I got today and the response which I could see and how people are responding, I find a sea change in the positivity towards the Bharatiya Janata Party, which we are going to try to see to it, galvanize it in terms of votes. And there is, I find that BJP is going to gain support from the people of Kerala as far as the ensuing Vidhan Sabha election is concerned. People are disgusted with the present government. It is a government full of corruption, rampant corruption. May it be gold smuggling case, the irregularities in the Life Mission, the Sprinkler data scam, the K-phone scam, the e-mobility scam, and KIIFBI has certainly embarrassed the people of Kerala. And so there is rampant corruption. In every project, the government of the day and the ministers have got only one agenda: how to fatten their purses. This is going on here, which I would like to share with you. Another thing which I would like to say is that in the gold scam, the involvement of the Chief Minister office has really embarrassed the self-respecting Malayalis, not only in Kerala but world over. It has given a very bad name, and Pinarayi has lost his credibility also. The investigation which is going on is going to throw further light, and many ministers are going to, many ministers are going to come to light in this. The same way, it is a disgrace to the constitutional post when Shri Ramakrishnan, the speaker, the speaker is involved in the gold scam case. We all know that it was initially Pinarayi himself who said that the central agencies should come and investigate, and when the heat of it reached the CMO office, he turned out against it. This is the situation which we have to understand, and we have to, and Bharatiya Janata Party has exposed it. We will see to it that in future also it is exposed to the maximum. People should come to know that how these leaders, leaders have been behaving irresponsibly and giving a bad name to the state also, and to the Malayali culture, the pride of Malayalis is also jeopardized. I also find that LDF is systematically under the leadership of Pinarayi Vijayan, Pinarayi Vijayan, is attacking the constitutional bodies. The resolution against the Auditor, Controller and Auditor General itself shows that there is, and this is very dangerous to the democratic setup, when you attack the constitutional bodies which is going on. The same way, I find that keeping rules aside, more than 3 lakh appointments have been done. And this is a backdoor entry which is going on. And even the Kerala Public Service Commission has become a recruiting ground for CPM, which is to be understood. And all this is going to make a very difficult times as far as the Kerala polity is concerned in coming times. So we have to see in that terms also, in that way also. The involvement of Swapna Suresh and the appointment, how it was done in IT department, the involvement of the Principal Secretary of Chief Minister's Office, all this show that certainly the corruption has got the patronage of the highest office, which we have to understand. As far as the COVID management is concerned, I've been a health minister. I've come here. I was here during the flood times also. I gave them maximum support also. I supported for that Nipah virus also. So I know the infrastructure and the Kerala's health capacity and how to respond. But I'm sorry to say that because of the ineffective political leadership today, half of the cases of COVID are from Kerala. And no strategy is being adopted till date. There's a whopping increase in 12%, which is worrisome, and one has to understand this. And no strategy is being adopted. I'm saying this with responsibility.
JP Nadda there holding a press conference in Kerala. He is on a 2-day tour of the state as part of his 120-day yatra, in which he is touring several states to really campaign for his party. And from Kerala, he'll be heading to battleground Bengal. Shifting focus now to the national capital, where politics over the farm laws continues as the standoff between the centre and the opposition refuses to die down. Fireworks continued in the Rajya Sabha earlier today. 3 Aam Aadmi Party MPs were suspended from Parliament. Leader of opposition in the Rajya Sabha, Ghulam Nabi Azad, said that the government must repeal the 3 farm laws and condemned the Republic Day tractor rally violence. Pandemonium also continued in the Lok Sabha as well, with MPs in the well of the House shouting slogans. The House has been adjourned and will reconvene in some time from now. Meanwhile, opening another front against the centre, Congress has announced that it will provide legal aid to the Kisan across 4 states.
मेरी सरकार से ये विनती है कि आप इन तीनों बिल को वापस ले लें। या मैं 26 जनवरी का उल्लेख किए बगैर नहीं रह सकता हूं। हम जितनी भी निंदा और जितनी भी निंदा की जा सकती है, हम और हमारी पार्टी उसकी निंदा करती है, पूरी विपक्ष निंदा करता। ऐसे लोग जो उसमें इन्वॉल्व थे, उनको कड़ी से कड़ी सजा दी जानी चाहिए। लेकिन मैं साथ में यह भी कहना चाहता हूं कि जो निर्दोष जो किसान लीडर्स निर्दोष, उनके खिलाफ उनको इंप्लीकेट करने के, उनको फंसाने की बिल्कुल न कोशिश किया जाए। फिर उस पर दूसरा आंदोलन होगा।
I have only two ways: name them, send them out, or otherwise suspend, adjourn the house. Sri Sanjay Singh, Sri Sushil Kumar Gupta, Sri N.D. Gupta. All of these three members are named as per the rule 255. Please withdraw from the house. Please withdraw from the house. Please go out of the house. They want a discussion. When the discussion is going to begin, they obstruct the house. Let the entire country watch this.
Arunima is joining me on the phone line. Arunima, when is the discussion slated over the farm reforms?
In the next 2 days, the Farm Bill discussion is slated to begin. The government has agreed to the discussion. Opposition was not hoping for so much of time, but government has agreed to give up to 15 hours to discuss everything under the ambit of the farm laws. But, the kind of ruckus that we saw in Rajya Sabha was because the opposition members led by Aam Aadmi Party were saying that, we want this discussion first and then all other slated business, including, the motion of thanks on the President's address. That was something that was not acceptable to the government. So the opposition members, Sanjay Singh and his two colleagues from Aam Aadmi Party, rushed to the well of the House. And you heard what the chair said. It did not go down well, and all the Aam Aadmi Party MPs were called out from the chair. They were asked to leave the proceedings of the House for one full day. So hopefully tomorrow, when the House resumes, there will be more coordination between the government and the opposition, and we should see some meaningful discussion on the farm laws.
And what about other legislation, Arunima? What exactly is on the government's agenda in this session?
So there are some important ordinances that the government wants to bring in. Of course, the main thing in the first part of the budget session is the budget and the President's address. But beyond that, there is an ordinance which deals with integration of the cadre, the IAS and the IPS, and the Forest Service cadre of Jammu and Kashmir with the UT cadre. So there is an ordinance to that effect. There are also ordinances about from the Urban Housing Affairs Ministry about New Delhi and two more. So there are a total of 4 ordinances that's at the heart of the government's legislative business. But like I said, budget and President's speech, those are the top of government's agenda for this part of the budget session.
All right, Arunima, thank you so much for joining us. And the Delhi police has stepped up its probe into the violence